Number 7 through 9. Write a new function that describes the total number of Genus and Kim's followers combined. So we want Jenna and Kim combined. Well, first off, let's write them independently. And I'm going to write that off to the side over here. Jenna is y equals 5x plus 31.75. Kim is y equals negative 2.048 x squared plus 18.929x minus 0.714. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to combine like terms, actually. Okay? Well, we don't have any other x squared terms, so that's just going to come over to my final answer. So it's going to say y equals negative 2.048 x to the second power. I have a 5x and I have an 18.929x. So we're going to do 5 and 18.929. 5 plus 18.929. We're going to get positive 23.929x. Okay. We have a positive 31.75 as a constant, and I have a negative 0.714. So we're going to do 31.75 minus 0.714. So this last number is going to be plus 0.036. So I just combined like terms. I combined my 5x and my 18. And then I combined my constants together, but making sure I noted that that was a negative. It says, determine the reasonable domain and range, as well as any maximum or minimum values of the function you wrote in item 7. Well, I want to look at it on the graph. And I actually still have everything saved in from yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and just combine these two. I'm going to do negative 2.048 x squared. Instead of this saying plus 18,929, this is going to say plus 23,929 x. And instead of saying minus 0.714, we're going to say plus 31.036 because we put those two together, right? And I'm going to go ahead and graph that. I'm going to change the window a little just to make sure that I'm seeing everything, because clearly I'm not. I see that it goes up, but I don't see where it's coming back down. So let's go ahead and change our window. Let's make our X max scale 20. And this time we're going to count by twos. And let's make our Y max, let's go up to about 100 and count by tens. I'm just going to kind of play around with the window to see. Okay, so look, now I've gotten the other half of this graph, but notice I still didn't reach the top up here. So I need to go up a little bit higher on my Y scale. So let's change this to say 150 instead. Now we see that complete curve here. All right. So domain, remember, refers to our number of months. So our number of months has to be positive, right? So we know that that has to be greater than or equal to 0. So domain is x greater than or equal to 0. Can't have negative time. Let's talk about our range. Well, it doesn't make sense to have negative followers, right? But I want to know what is the maximum number of followers we can have. So what we want to do is we want to find this place right up here to find what that value is. So I'm going to go to second, calculate, and I'm going to find my maximum value. It wants me to be left bound, so it wants me to be on the left side of the topmost point. So we're going to go to the left and we're going to press enter. And now it's going to ask me to go to the right side of the topmost point. So I go to a little bit of the right. It's going to ask me to put a guess in. It's not really going to affect what they give me in the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and press enter again. And what this says is and it's kind of hard to see it, but it says at month 5.5 or 5.8, almost 6 months, there is 100.9331 followers. We would round that because obviously I can't have a part of a follower, right? So we have roughly 101 followers at its maximum. So my range is going to be 0, because I can't have less than 0. And I can't have any more than 101 because that is the maximum height of this graph. And then it asks, do we have a max or min? In this particular case, we have a max. And that max appears at 101. This is basically the highest the graph reaches. Highest the graph reaches. Okay, let's take a look at our last question. Construct a viable argument. Will the number of Cheyenne's followers ever exceed the total number of Jenna and Kim's followers combined, and justify your response? So will she ever get above their graph together, this joint picture? Yes. Yes, an exponential function will eventually surpass a quadratic, which is what this is because it's raised to the second power, especially when the quadratic opens downward. Go ahead and finish taking a moment to finish 7 through 9. On the next slide, you will see a debriefing question. Answer it, and then make sure you mark this presentation as done.